Alright, today we're going to talk about how do we solve parallel circuit. Let's say if we have something like this, there are two resistors in parallel. This is the power. This is the E, this is R1, this is R2. Let's say E equal to 10 volts, R1 equal to 5 ohm, and R2 equal to 10 ohm. So here we need to find RT, IT, PT, P1, P2. So the total resistance, the total current, the total power, the power for R1, and this is the power for R2. Okay, now let's get started. So the first thing is, since they in parallel, we can do the current for each one first. They have the same voltage, so I1 equal to E over R1. So we have 10 volts divided by 5 ohm. That will give us 2 amps. I2, same thing, it will E divided by R2 will give us 10 volts divided by 10 ohm, which is 1 amps. So the total current IT will be I1 plus I2, 2 amps plus 1 amps, which is 3 amps. For the total resistance, we can use the formula for parallel circuit, 1 over plus 1 over R2 equals 1 over R1, R2, R1 plus R2. Then we flip the number R1, R2 divided by R1 plus R2. After that, we can plug in the numbers of 5 ohms times 10 ohms divided by 5 ohm plus 10 ohm. This will give us 50 divided by 15. So it will be 10 over 3 ohms. Let's just leave it like that right now. Or we can just, since we already get the current, the total current, we can also use, so this is RT, which is 3.3 ohms. We can also use RT by using Ohm's law, E divided by IT. So E is 10 volts divided by IT is 3 amps. That will also give us 10 over 3 ohms. That's just another way to get the total resistance. But usually we can use this formula for the parallel circuit. In order to get the power, P1 equals E times I1 equals I1 square R. So we can use either formula. Let's say 10 volts times I1 is 2 amps. That will give us 20 watts. P2 equals E times I2 equals I2 square R2. This is R1, this is R2. Here we use this formula, 10 volts times 1 amps, which is give us 10 watts. So the total power is E times IT, also equals IT squared times RT. We can also use P1 plus P2. So that would be 10 volts times IT is 3 amps. So total is 30 watts. If we use P1 plus P2, that would be 20 watts plus 10 watts. That will also give us 30 watts. So that's everything for the first example. Now let's say if we have 3 resistors in parallel. So this is the E. This is R1, R2, R3. How do we solve this? Let's say E equals 60 volts, R1 equals 10 ohms, R2 equals 20 ohms, R3 equals 30 ohms. How do we solve this? So RT first thing first, let's do RT first. 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. We can just use a calculator. If we don't have a calculator around, we can just do it by hand. R1, R2, R3. So here will be R2, R3 plus R1, R3 plus R1, R2. This is kind of mathing. So that would be R1, R2, R3 divided by R2, R3 plus R1, R3 plus R1, R2. So we need to plug in all the numbers. 10 times 20 times 30 over 20 times 30 plus 10 times 30 plus 10 times 20 ohms. That will give us 6,000 divided by 600 plus 300 plus 200. So 60 over 11 ohms. Let's leave it like that, or we can also get decimal numbers. So IT will be E divided by RT, Ohm's law. E is 60 volts divided by 60 over 11 ohms, which will give us 68 times amps. So that'll be 11 amps. Or we can do I1 equals E divided by R1, which is also Ohm's law, which is 60 volts divided by 10 ohm, 6 amps. I2 equals E over R2 equals 60 volts divided by 20 ohms, 3 amps. I3 is E divided by R3 equals 60 volts divided by 30 ohms, which is 2 amps. So that kind of prove IT equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3, which is 6 amps plus 3 amps plus 2 amps. That's total 11 amps. So that kind of prove KCL, the Kirchhoff current law. Now we need to get a power. P1 equal E times I1 equal to I1 square R1. So if we use this formula here, E equals 60 volts times 6 amps, which give us 360 watts. P2, same thing, E times I2 equals I2 square R2. 60 watts times 3 amps equal to 180 watts. P3 equal to E times I3 equals I3 square R3 equals, if we use this 60 volts times 2 amps equal to 120 watts. So the P total will be P1 plus P2 plus P3. We can also use the formula E times IT. Also we have IT square times RT. Since we already get RT and IT, so we can use either formula. Here I'm going to use these three. So it will be 360 watts plus 180 watts plus 120 watts. Total will be 660 watts. So basically this is everything for parallel circuit. For parallel circuits, all the voltage across each component are all the same. They all equal to the power source. So voltage are the same. Current are different. So let's say it's IT here For each branch is I1, I2, I3. You just need to remember this, the voltage are the same and the current are different. So that's how we solve parallel circuits. That's everything for this video. Thank you for watching.